Welcome back, folks, and thanks for sticking with us this Sunday morning. Well, if you have been tuning into Channel 5 and 5.2 for the last week, we have been participating in our Heart of the Valley Diabetes. We have been working on this for the last week, airing stories at our 6 and 10 p.m. newscast to kind of help and educate the community on ways to combat diabetes and ways to be preventative, because as we know, prevention is key and that is the first step in everything. And so joining us now, we have our General Manager, Mr. John Kittleman, here to talk to us a little bit more about our efforts and what we are doing to kind of work and educate and keep the community healthy. So thank you so much for coming in today.
Hi, Gabby. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. So we have been doing this effort. Now, this is our 4th year talking about diabetes because it is such a huge problem here in the Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah, I don't think people appreciate, I guess we take it for granted that it's part of our culture and part of our community, but one of the doctors told me if you look at a map of the globe at areas where diabetes is the most intense, and sure enough, there'd be a circle around the Rio Grande Valley of all places in the world. So we're in the middle of it, and I'm really proud of what the station has done. I call it kind of all hands on board.
Of course.
We treat this like the emergency that it is. It is a crisis. It is a epidemic, and the first step in dealing with something is identifying it.
Definitely.
Is, you know, recognizing that, look, this is serious, and we can make a difference.
Definitely, and it is, that number is 1 in 3 people actually are diagnosed and have diabetes. So that is something here in the Rio Grande Valley that is pretty alarming. And of course, we are doing our best to kind of work together as a community and work together with different partnerships to kind of help the community, which is what we are doing now. So if you haven't been tuning in and you would like that information, make sure to go to krgv.com or tune in at 6 and 10 p.m. We have testing going on for the next week at various locations around the Rio Grande Valley, at HEB, at Walmart, at Dr. Monserragi's offices in Edinburg and in McAllen. So make sure to definitely check out our website if you haven't been screened or you want to, or if you are curious whether or not that you have diabetes. The first and best step to take is to go and get screened to find out exactly what is going on with your health.
South Texas Health System as well.
South Texas Health System.
So there's 4 of them.
There's 4. So we are really doing, we really have covered all bases, and we want to make sure that there is an option for everyone, and that everyone, no matter where you are located in the Rio Grande Valley, that you can go out and get screened and make sure to have your health in check. But again, we are doing all this throughout the week. We're having screenings available that are free, of course, and we also have these different stories that we have been working on, our different reporters and our anchors, to kind of educate the community and find resources for them. But we also have the Facebook Lives that we do during our 6 p.m. newscast in 2 languages. We have them in English and Spanish, with professionals to kind of give us those answers for anybody who's at home watching or has questions.
You're doing great. I'm gonna just let you go. It's exactly right. It's a lot. We feel like you need this, though. So if you want to get tested, we, the doctors, encourage you to fast if possible. You don't have to. You know, if it's, I'm not going to go, still go.
Right.
And there's a different test you can take. If you haven't fasted, it'll tell you if you're in a dangerous zone or not. Over these years, I know we've had as many as 6,000 people tested over the 2 weeks. I think on a low of about 4,000, so somewhere in that area. That's fantastic. I mean, that's a lot of lives that are being changed. I know in one case, there was someone who literally, they said, let's get an ambulance, let's get you over there because you are in a danger zone. And that's so important. So the stories, I love the fact that all of our team is contributing. So you're hearing different voices, different faces, you know, from Tim Smith on down to the reporters, to the anchors. They're all contributing, and each, hopefully they're telling something from the heart, something that touched them and their lives and their family. And I think that's the best, most effective storytelling we can do. The Facebook Lives, I've watched several nights now, English and Spanish. You have an opportunity to ask the doctor, and we can get that question to the doctor or to the specialist or to the person, whatever it might be, and get your questions answered free.
Of course.
And it's all good. I love what we're doing with UTRGV out in the community, going to the colonias, getting services into the most vulnerable. So I love the partners that we have. It's really a great opportunity. and that leads us to that Saturday event,
Of course.
which really, the name of it, Together for Our Health, is I think a great title, because it does it does bring together doctors, patients, the community, everyone working together for an outcome.
Definitely. And it is going to be a great event, which we see is going to be April 6th from 9 to 1. And there's going to be various opportunities for education and for question asking. We'll have panels with different professionals, healthy cooking demonstrations to kind of show you that you can still eat well and tasty foods, but just in a more healthier approach. And it's going to be really good. And this year we're doing a kids camp, which is the first of its kind, which I think is really great, because that's kind of where we start to learn first, is those kids start to learn, okay, this is what a healthy plate looks like, or these are healthy options to kind of start.
And that's, of course, the future is our children. And what we've been told is, you mentioned 1 in 3, as many as 1 in 4 children they have all the signs of being on the path towards being pre-diabetic or type 2. And that's just not good. And if you can start young and develop habits, and that's another message that we want to, it's, you know, people say, oh, it's a death sentence. Absolutely, it's not.
Right.
It's something manageable, as some very basic things like drinking more water, putting on your tennis shoes and walking. Things that you can do, you can manage. And so that's one thing we've developed for social media this year. If you take one of these steps, and you're on Instagram, we have an Instagram page, KRGV.5. Hashtag Stop Diabetes. That's a national, actually global hashtag people use all around the world to tie together that people are making changes with diabetes. So say you walk for the first time, you put your meal together for the first time, you got screened for the first time, use that hashtag and let us share that on air or on our social media, and really encourage others to do the same.
Yes, most definitely. And of course, as we've been mentioning with you folks, that we have a lot of different efforts that are going across all kind of social media platforms and in different elements as well. We're in the community. We are offering free screenings with different partners that we are allowing you all to go in and get screened for free, because this is something that is very important to not only us, but we want to show that the community this is important and that we want to work together to kind of fight this disease. And as you did mention, it is something that is manageable, and you can reverse it. It's not a death sentence whatsoever. So you can do small things, as you mentioned, drink more water, go walking, you know, switch up your diet, make your plate look a little bit different. It's always, they've said, to make sure it looks colorful. That is always
a little more green.
Yeah, a little more green. If your plate is looking a little more colorful and green, then you know that it's also really pretty to look at, but also better for you. And so this is all in partnership with a lot of different people that we are coming together, which leads us to the end of this next week. We are doing a Together for Our Health in partnership with the Rio Grande Valley Diabetes Association, and this is going to be held at the Mission Event Center. There's going to be health education, diabetes management, healthy cooking, a kids camp. There's going to be a panel of experts where you can go and ask questions. You can also get screened there for free. There's just going to be a lot of different resources. So if in these last 2 weeks you did go and get screened and you found that you are diabetic and you do have questions and you're scared to kind of figure out what that next step is, you can go and talk to these different professionals and get those resources that you need, so that you know that it's not scary, that you can fight this, and that, you know, the community is here for you and to work together. So
one of the stories we did was on holistic. It really is a holistic approach to, and the resources are there if you'll ask. So that dietitian, the exercise person, whether it's sleep or finances or stress or whatever it might be, all these things come together. And we want to help. We want to, with our partners, help people get. And let me mention too, we have a great Spanish effort with our Somos El Valle, our channel 5.2. All this information is being given also in Spanish through our news efforts. So 6 to 7 a.m. in the morning, 9 to 10 at night. We're very proud of that. We have a Facebook page, Somos Noticias, KRGV Somos Noticias, and Facebook and Instagram as well, Somos KRGV. So we're really reaching out to the Spanish-speaking community. We know it's important, and we know this particular effort, it's very important to get that information across.
Definitely, and of course we also have that on our social media pages as well during our 6 p.m. There are both in English and in Spanish. We have a doctor there to answer questions on Facebook Live, so make sure to tune into those 2 different Facebook pages to kind of get that information and get your questions in if you ask. I want to thank you so much for coming in today and sitting down and talking to us a little bit more about this.
Thank you, Gabby.
Thank you. So of course, folks, we are doing this for the next week, and make sure to head on over to caregv.com for more information on screening times and locations. If you have any questions, make sure to please give us a call, and we hope to see you there at the Together for Our Health event April 6th from 9 to 1 over at the Mission Event Center. All right, folks, I want to thank you so much for tuning in this morning. I hope you'll have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you next Sunday.